confident. Times are changing, things are changing, and our history is changing right between and before our eyes. And in the midst of all these changes, I wonder if my people are ready for change. You are ready for change. I want to share something much more personal tonight. So maybe just allow me to catch a breath a little bit, and I will empty my heart. Something slightly more personal, you know, more personal for tonight. I will not be shouting or talking loudly. I'll speak nice and softly, you know, and share some critical information about the greater space of our development and the state we find ourselves in as Africans. And it's not going to be a long show. It's going to just be a few minutes that I'm going to spend with you and having some conversations around this great epidemic, corona. But most I want to look at it from my personal view. You see, there is some writing that I find when I was reading the Black Book the other day, which says when you find that wet wood is burning, you know, when wet wood is burning, and you are dry wood, then you must worry, because if the wet wood is catching fire, how much more about the dry wood? Yeah. And if you cannot walk with people who are on foot, walking on foot, and you can't keep up with them on foot, how much more when they are on horses, you know? These statements of grand wisdom echo through my mind at a time such as this, that we as Africans and as third world Africans, as the uncivilized Africans, as they call us, the poor Africans, if we failed to build our economies, our health systems, and restore our cultural systems when it was still daytime, how easy will it be to build these systems during the war? You know, don't remember to have a cave after you're wet. Make hay when there is still sunshine. At the place which we are going, ladies and gentlemen, I have good news and bad news for you. The bad news is that the world has changed. And the world is changing rapidly. It's not going to go back to last month, as you may know it. We're moving into the future of technology, the future of vaccinations, the future of traveling restrictions, the future of no buying, no selling, the future of centralized one world government, the future that is cashless, where all our monies are going to be somewhere else and we're going to be even given numbers and pins, the future where we are not going to be individuals and human beings, but we're going to become numbers and figures, the future of social distancing, of microchipped people, so that they can be identified where they are for the entertainment of those who are sitting in the controls. The future that is not political, but the future that is economically driving the political systems. Our world governments and our present African governments that failed to make hay while there is sunshine, they will not be able to make any hay while it is raining. Like now, they are way into the deep of world agreements that it will be totally impossible for any African president to stand up by himself and fight the system. The system has become a monster. The system has become a snake. Maybe now we can understand the symbol of health, which is a snake that is around a stick. That snake that you have all been carrying around, representing Department of Health, That snake that has always been there on the Department of Health. That snake that is at Red Cross. That snake that you see, two of them in fact, weaved in each other. Look at the human species. That snake has moved from the cross. It has moved from the stick. Now that snake has become a real poisonous snake, which is using the health system to manipulate the world economic and political system. We are heading in a ladies and gentlemen, where I feel that time of marginalizing each other, demonizing each other. Can you imagine for us as Africans, while the rest of the world is discussing vaccinations, they're discussing the 5G story, they're discussing the COVID-19 story, and there's all sorts of wars that are going around the world, global wars. The Africans are busy debating the Trinity, debating the 144,000, debating theology. Hi, ni strong. Yaona nina mapopotaki. Let me say this. You, my black people, I love you with a passion. I love you with a passion. You know, when the rest of the world is discussing how are we going to come out of this mess and fix up the issues of the world, here we are as Africans busy debating where is hell, where is heads, what is the name of the devil. You know, in Jesus' mighty name we cast out demons. Are you sure? Are you sure that you can cast out these pharmaceutical demons in the name of Jesus? I tend to find that we've been given, you know, in my village we have a proverb that says, when you have a dog and you have gone hunting and the dogs are everywhere harassing you over the meat that they have killed, you can just cut off some bone, you know, like if you kill an impala, you know, the dry bone where there's not much meat in there, just chop off a bone, chop off the bones, chop off all the legs, they're just bones, and give each dog a bone, you know. You can remain eating all the meat, the livers and the kidneys and the steak, while the dogs, yes, the dogs are biting on the bones, even fighting over the bones, because the owner of the dogs can afford to cut a piece and keep them entertained, eating bones and skins, while he's organizing a nice meal for his children. The economies of this world are being run by these mafias. We as Africans and our leaders, we are dogs. We've been reduced to dogs in this system. And what you do with the dogs, you give them the bones to chew. Theology, religion, Jesus, you know, keep them busy. Hallelujah, wangitatala, wangibekala, wangisusala, wangibekala, unobubele. Hallelujah, hallelujah, kakamulika Jesu, hallelujah, hallelujah. Are you sure? Ujesu usithetela, usibekela. He has removed us from here. Now he has put us somewhere there. I've news for you. They removed us from here. They put us here. They've removed us from here. They've put us further into the ground. Stop being naive like Africans, thinking that your religious constipation and your religious obsessions, your religious, you know, some of us are consumed with Jesus, consumed with religion, you know, consumed with Christianity. As long as Jesus died on the cross, that settles it for me. Wow. Wake up, young lady, and smell the coffee. Smell the coffee. Moments of sloganeering and churching and trying to make sure that your faith supersedes politics will be rendered null and void. Jesus is for yourself in your personal space. But those that don't have Jesus are planning your politics. Those that don't know Jesus are planning your economics. Those that don't know Jesus are planning your vaccination. Those that don't know Jesus are planning movements. Those that don't know Jesus are planning for your resources. Those that don't know Jesus are busy with your family planning. Those that don't know Jesus are busy planning while you are fasting. Daniel's fast. John Baptist's fast. Stand up and greet someone in Jesus' name. In the midst of our intoxication with Christianity, we have naively ignored social issues that change the dynamics of the politics in the places which we are living in. Right now, if you want to do politics, church tells you that is for the devil. I've good news for you. The devil you left to handle the politics for you, he's now doing what the devil must do. And you are going to become a prayer warrior. Because you don't believe in change. You believe in clapping hands in churches, dancing around, and you think that in the midst of dancing around, you can change the world. Listen, guys, the same Bible which you believe in says, go out there, be fruitful, multiply, replenish, and fill the world. A process is given from an individual space, full of fruits. Whatever you are full with, multiply it. After you've multiplied it, replenish it. After you've replenished it, have dominion over the world. Now, Bill Gates and his friends who took that principle into practice, they now have dominion over the world. He started off in Microsoft, started off as an IT person, gathered his resources from there. The other day we heard he donated $79 billion US dollars. It's enough to pay for a third of African countries in terms of their national fiscus. When you have money, the next level, maybe I must teach to one day, levels of power. See, there are those that are powerful at a muscle level. You know, I got muscles. You know, those guys who go to the gym and they come big with muscles and then they say they're powerful. Well, that's level 1 of power. That all depends on food and water. Then there are those who become powerful in terms of gathering materials around them. Then, yes, and then without their materials, they lose their power. And those who gather power in academic institutions because they know some few things. Yeah, can you give us a reference to what you are saying? And can you give us a quotation? Which works are you quoting? You know, which books are you reading? Who is your protege and who is your mentor? You know, sitting around their spaces of academic aspness, and they want to dictate to those not going to school like ourselves, you know, who hardly hold any degrees worth mentioning in this world, except a few words in English we that during break time. And you can get powerful because you're a doctor so and so, you're a professor so and so. That's what we call academic power. Then there are those who are in what we call, you know, in industrial power. Those who are sitting in the pinnacles of industry, who are able to manufacture things and affect the rest of the guys down the streets. The retailers and everybody else depend on manufacturers. And China has positioned herself in that kind of power. So that when China stops its business, for example, in terms of manufacturing things, the whole world is in a panic because you hold power. Those who want to hold what I might want to call entertainment power, because they kick a ball of soccer or they hit a ball of cricket, or they can catch a ball of rugby in the air, or they can blow some tennis, or they can do some boxing, whatever, or they appear on some soap opera as the guy next door. They on some movies as an actor, everybody, and they have some tweets, and after you check up on their Instagram accounts, they got 800,000, 1.65 million people following them because they are the Rick Rosses and the Jacksons of this world. That's entertainment power. And that entertainment power is a silver screen power, which is only effective as long as TVs are working. Right now, during this lockdown, where are the celebrities? I laugh in pain. Where are the celebrities? Where are the soccer players? Where are the rugby, professionals? Where are they? Where are they? Where are the movie stars? Where are they? They are also locked up in their own houses, struggling and wondering what is coming upon the world. That is entertainment power. Another level of power is one more small group that is usually ignored. I call them the farmers, the agricultural people, who are actually in the business of making sure that the nation is eating and people are feeding. People are. You may not see them appearing on any magazine anywhere else. You may not see them appearing on the Guinness Book of Records. They might not appear anywhere else. But man, people eat, people drink. And as long as people are eating and drinking, there are powerful people who are sitting behind the doors there, and they are powerful. Something is happening behind the curtains. And these powerful people may say nothing, but they control the system. And in as much as we want to own our land and other things, if people can actually just poison all the fields and etc., we must be ready that maybe for 3 to 4 to 5 years, until we fix those farms, we may actually end up in a whole hunger strike. And once people are hungry, they will fight their government, and they will fight their government, and the same colonizer who poisoned your field, who has caused you to be hungry, and once you're hungry, you can't think. You will kick up the next president. It's better we bring back the white people because we used to have food. So there is something we might actually call hunger politics. Hunger politics. And that's also powerful because they control the economy. Right now, when they talk to Ramaphosa and they talk to the president and they say, Mr. President, Honorable President, we are supplying this country with 80% of the food of the country. Are you really saying they want to take the land? Any president who has got his brains thinking well and he has not planned a strategy of feeding the people during the time, he will find himself compromising. That's a fact. That's a fact. Well, there is manufacturer's power. Another level of power is what you might want to call the political power. These are non-people. These are useless people in the community who don't even have a dog or a cat, but they just know how to do slogans, and immediately they make a few slogans, they make their way into the political system, they drive cars, and they begin to be called comrade so and so, honorable so and so. Now they need introductions before they speak. Before they come out of their cars, they're asking, are people there now? Are people there now? Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. Political power. They're politically powerful because in political power, then you have access to the instruments of government. The instruments of government include the police, include the military, include the intelligence, which when they are in the hands of the wrong people, they can also be used to destroy the lives of the very same people that they are protecting. So political power is nothing in its own, because when you take that politician and you leave them in the community, we can beat him up with bare hands, but we will not do so because he does not come alone. He comes with people who are tall, with lots of glasses on them, standing very far with small little things on their ears, listening to everybody behind. Then they are protected. They are protected. Now they are powerful. But take note, they are not powerful because of anything. They are powerful because of those that are sitting around them and the system that they've put around them to protect them from us who have voted them into power. So that power is not political power. It is military, intelligence, and police power invested in you to this machinery. Immediately you're out of office, we give you 1 or 2 soldiers and policemen to keep money, but the system continues to run. So what makes a politician powerful is because they are powerful because they are sitting surrounded by instruments of state which have put them into power. And when they use those instruments for their own benefit, then they become powerful. Another group of powerful people that we always ignore is what I might want to call spiritual power. Spiritual power becomes difficult because all the people, most of them, if not many of them, who failed in school, they ended up as pastors and as spiritual leaders who are now leading the politicians, who are now leading the agriculturalists, who are now leading the educational people. It looks like all of these powerful people, at the end of the day, they end up sitting in front of an uneducated person again at the bottom of the food chain. So it looks like this cycle goes right round. You spend so much time running into this direction. At the climax of your success, you come back again to ground zero and you ask an old man who never went to school like myself, what must we do? And you go to the Sangoma and you take off your shoes. Yeah, don't care. I don't want anyone but here, including your bodyguards. Only you. You come inside by yourself and you sit in front of a person who can't even speak English. And spiritual power. Spiritual power. Now as systems are moving into this direction, and I feel for you as my African people, you have done such an obsessive work with Jesus. I wish you could turn your energies. Yes, I see some of you are still interested in trying to divert me. Jesus saved everybody and stuff like that. Just wait, man. Wait with Jesus. Just give me a minute. Let me finish what I want to do here. Then if we could take the same amount of energy that we spend in running churches, all the amount of time we spend sitting around churches, clapping our hands, hallelujah, 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 running, and the monies that we spend in churches, the amount of resources that we spend in churches, had we taken all that, can we take all that? Will we take all that and convert it into business, into a system, into society, into industries, into factories, into schools, into hospitals, into homesteads, to farms? And then, no, people don't want to put money on anything except on Jesus. Okay, take your Jesus with you then, move to the farm and let's move this money here. You can still use Jesus to collect it because then we can pronounce the wife. But it looks like unless you have a reason why you want people to contribute their money, they will not contribute it. So you want to have some theology of some sort. Yeah, when you do this and this and this, then this will happen to you. Then people easily donate their money into churches. I want to challenge you, all of you who are here as Africans. Each one of you in your own house, starting now on the lockdown, please have a personal savings plan. $1 per day. I'm glad Sasongo is in the house. If you are available, Sasongo, to take a phone call from me, please indicate. I would love you to take us through the African strategy of rehabilitating ourselves as African into the greater Ubuntu strategy. I just hope he picks up the phone. He is the one who taught me the strategy I wanted to share with you. While we are going through these moments of a great trial like this, it is important for every African to begin a family savings plan, whereby you take at least $1 per day or R1 per day for every member of your family that you have. Do it as a savings plan. All of us, $1 per day. Now imagine if 1.9, 2.5 billion Africans can begin to save at least R1 per day, depending on which country you're coming from. At the end of the day, we may just end up holding in our hands something like 2.5 billion US dollars per day. Carefully, per day. So every family that can save $5, $10, $20, and we have 2.5 billion of us putting together R1 per day. Telling me that with $2.5 billion, we cannot build a hospital in one day. 2.5 billion tomorrow, the following day, we cannot build ourselves a university, an African university. 2.5 billion the following day, we cannot build for ourselves a government and infrastructure. 2.5, in other words, in 30 days, we would have collected enough billions amongst ourselves, just using the numbers only, using the lowest common denominator in terms of your budget as a country. And you put all that money together and begin a process of building what the European system has destroyed. I want to suggest something here very, very critical. That we all in our families collect R1. I have 4 in my family here, so I can at least collect maybe R4 per day. The neighbor can collect another R5 per day, R6 per day. And at the end of the day, we can take all this $1 per day. That's about 30, R4 per day times 30. That's say R100. We put that money in a common kitty, say under Ubuntu Nation. Ubuntu Nation. We trust Elder Sasongo, a good mentor from Uganda, who has already done more than 15 years in this regard, to take these resources, put good accountants around him, and we can begin a system of rebuilding our own selves. I guarantee you that in less than 2 months, we can actually build the first bank in the world with the greatest number of people that are banking in it, where we can have access to our monies, access to our loans, and have the money for developing the Africa that we want. This is not the kind of money that you put and say, I put the 10 rand there, I want to see what's going to happen to it. In 52 weeks, we can put $2.5 billion in each country to build what we want to build as Africans. What we lack as Africans is leadership. Even now I'm talking to you right now, you're still looking around, scratching yourself and say, well, maybe he's not the one. We must still wait for another one. When I die, you still be looking forward to another one, because in your head, concept of a Messiah who will fall from the heavens to come and bring you solutions on earth is what is controlling your mind. Your software is not intended to say Messiah simply means someone who brings solution. Jesus, Messiah. Emmanuel, the Messiah, the one who brought solutions. So Messiah is a plural word. It does not only identify Jesus Christ, it identifies everybody who brings solutions to the people. That person is a Messiah. So a simple strategy. $1, R1 per day for every member of your family. Then once every month, we collect all those money together, all these 4 or 5 rands together. We put them in our small little nations. South Africa, have your kitty. Zambia, have your kitty. Malawi, have your kitty. Have your kitty. Have your kitty. The advantage of having it centralized is that we can all benefit from the African concept. We all work and do our traditional Mushandila Pamwe, Jamaa, working together, Zunde, Ilima. Whereas Africans, we need to understand that the solutions to our problem, good people, I keep on saying this, the solutions to our problem are in the past, and some of them are locked up in a small little word called unity. Unity. While you are suspicious, right now, if you go to my inbox here, I can give you access to it, all of you guys, and you can laugh at each other as Christians. Questions I receive. So which religion do you belong to? So, do you still believe in Jesus? So, which church do you go to? Well, are you telling me that during such a critical time of Earth's history, you are still busy sucking your fingers around theological nonsense? How many angels can dance at the sharpest point of a needle? Who slept with Mary so that she can bear Jesus? Did Jesus wet his diapers or not? At this hour, in my whole history and life, I think I have found my purpose of life. And my reason for existence is to bring and start an exodus of putting the African people together. For one reason, to rebuild the broken walls of our cities. It might be slightly too late, better late than never. For a start, right now, while we are on lockdown, sit around people. I want to persuade you. Sit around good people. Start organizing small little savings plan in your own homes. I will talk to the powers that be, auditors and finance can be on standby. Tell you a common account where all those monies can be dumped into. And we can begin a solution-driven program powered by farmers of thought to whichever direction we want it to go, whether it is UKA, United Kingdoms of Africa, or it is AIM, African Indigenous, or it is Ubuntu. But we needed to find a body in Africa. I belong to more than 15, if not 20, Pan-African groups on my WhatsApp. Every one of them has an agenda. And the agenda is again simply to go back into power and do what the colonial people are doing. The same politicians who are failing. These Pan-Africans think when they get into power, they'll do it better. I have bad news for them. They have no solutions, even in the midst of all these slogans, until we begin to talk financial liberation, community restoration, family reestablishment, the value of an African on the world map. And some of you are mathematicians. Let me challenge you something nice that you can be grappling with for the night. Take the square meterage of Africa. Take some notes, please. One of you guys take some notes and please put some notes there. Then the formula, nice. Please, any one of you is good at typing and taking notes. Please take some notes. I want to convert this into a formula. Take the squarage of Africa as a total continent. You tell me how many square meters is Africa. After you give me the square meterage of Africa, I want you to do the first figure will give you, yes, look guy, Vincent Pakati has just given us a figure there that we're able to raise 7750. Don't make me become another 775000000000 per month. That's the amount of money we can make just by R1, $1 per day. Every African on the continent can simply say, begin a process of saving our money. Vincent Zamani Pakati, thank you very much for the mathematics. But I want to give you this mathematics. Give me the square meterage of Africa. So we already have 750 million, whatever. I don't know. Are those millions or billions per month we can raise? So put that figure up. That is in terms of our resources, in terms of what we are working on. Whether you're selling potatoes or you're selling magwinya on the road or you're doing anything, please just R1. R1. You're buying your airtime, giving your airtime people 29, 30, 120 Rand per month, per week, per day in some certain cases. We're just asking for R1. Put it into that. So we have, that's our daily capital, which we can raise and we can park it on the side. Mathematics 2. So I want you to keep that 75 whatever billion on the side as a figure. Next, mathematics says, if you can have the square meterage of Africa as a whole, and you know how big is Africa as a continent, then you want to go to the real estate people and give me the value of the African land. Just the land on its own. Just the land. Then you take that figure also. I want you to put it somewhere there as another figure. Figure number 3. Do a quick desktop study to find out how much mineral resources are in Africa. Then you are looking underneath the ground. So the top ground, you're just not looking at the value. You are looking at arid land, agricultural land, and shore land. And how much does this cost in terms of money? I know Senten, for example, they say that the most expensive piece of land in the whole of Africa, just 1 kilometer, 1 square kilometer. So you can go around and say the top land, what is its value in terms of, can you plant on it? Can you put houses on it? Can you what? And give me that value on it. Figure number 3. Then you go under the ground to find out how much material and minerals is Africa sitting on. Country. That information is available somewhere. We can tell you we have reserves of gold for X, we have reserves of diamonds for X, for copper in Zambia for X, for cobalt in Congo for X, platinum in South Africa at X, lithium and beryllium in Zimbabwe at X. Come on, give me that figure as to how much mineral resources do we have as Africa. Put that figure again on the side. Take me to the sea. Tell me how much sea is closer to Africa. That's to our fishes, that's to our mining, both diamonds and oil within the sea. Give me that figure again. In your minerals, please don't forget Sudan, don't forget Libya, don't forget oil, don't forget Nigeria. And also just look at the amount of resources that is under the ground. Look at the amount of resources that is at the sea. Let us also look into the sky and just see the sky of Africa. How much is it worth in terms of satellite dishes, those who want to do their programmings and etc., using the atmosphere in terms of communication. Over and above the air we can harvest, over and above the sunshine we can harvest, capacity for oxygen, capacity for solar power and everything else. Boom. Put that figure there. Figure number 3. Then just tell me out of Africa how many graduates we have. University graduates, educated people. And try and calculate each one of them, how much salary are they gaining and how much salaries do they have. That is our capital, our human capital. Put that figure there again on the side. Then you can move over small little like what it does. What is it that Africa is owning as IP? Whether it is our indigenous knowledge that has been converted into, and put that figure again on the side. When you have this figure that you cannot even calculate, let me not waste your time. This figure that not calculate, then you take that figure and you divide it by 2.5 billion people. The answer you get is the value of one African. That answer get after calculating our resources, our minerals, our land, our trees, our water, our seas, our people, our capital. Divide that big figure by 2.5, even 3 billion Africans. That is the value of one African child who is walking the streets of Mkwasini in Zimbabwe with no shirt on, with the trousers that is torn at the back, wiping his face, wiping his nose, his face. Looks like a stupid little boy who has nothing. But because of the land that he is born in, that is his true value. So when you hear that 100 Nigerians, 200 Africans are trapped in China, African governments cannot ignore, because those Africans who are in slave trade in Arabia and United Emirates, those Africans who are being butchered in America as blacks and etc., those Africans that are dying at sea trying to run into Europe, each one of them is a figure right now. I wish someone here who was listening can at least give me an estimate as to what is the value of one black person, one African person. What is their value? This is another high level of thinking. If our presidents knew the value of Africans, if they knew the true value of Africans, who would not even celebrate the death of one through disease, through war, because each one of us is valuable in the continent. So you give me some time. I'm being far more than I can bite. But I think time is now for me to tell you the real intention. It is to begin to rebuild the broken walls of the African people. Back to our cultural, back to factory settings. Stop wasting time theologizing. If your theology does not convert into food, into medicine, into industry, waiting for a pie that is in the sky, I think you have missed the point You've even missed the Bible, which I think I have read it better than you, some of you, where it says, occupy until I come. Occupy until I come. You were faithful in little things. Now come inside. I'll make you faithful over much. How can you give people a heaven to manage who failed to manage their own earth? How do you go to heaven to manage gold? Gold. Have you ever walked on streets of gold when you can't even have gold in your pockets? The times of change are upon us. That's all that we had for you for tonight. Standing on this, I'll speak to Ntate Songo and we get some of those ones. He done a lot of work in terms of diving together. I think it only makes sense that we can start consolidating all our Pan-Africanists and all our areas bodies that have been behind the curtains. We need to come up to the fore now with a clear business plan so that we can inform each other as to which direction do we go as Africa. But once we have that budget and funding in place as Africans, we can buy all the European industries and send the Europeans back home. We can buy the best systems in the world, bring them in here and convert and champion our own future as Africans. There's no need for wasting time with politics, which is a playfield of infidels. Real power is a combination of power. Do you have spiritual power? Do we have economic power? Do we have political power? Do we have manufacturing power? Do we have academic power? Do we have entertainment power? Or all we have is physical power? Come on, guys. I'm tired of working with weak people. Start being powerful. Start being powerful. Develop yourselves, guys. Accountants, business people, miners, all of us, guys. This battle is not my battle alone. Together. And if you know any people out there aligned, we've done some planning, I think it's high time that we start gathering and coming together. I may have to take a bit as we are going further. My account is getting hotter by the day and it has been flagged a couple of times. I don't have to wait until they ban me here. I might have to step back a little bit and start doing one video maybe once a month or once a week. Give me and be patient with me. We don't own these platforms. But as we are going forward, you may start seeing less and less of me. And when you don't see me at all, you will know what will have happened. That I will have been put where everyone else is put, in a quarantine where others cannot access. So while we still can, let us walk softly and begin to share so that sort of think on these things. May the spirits of the night, may the omniscient one visit you in the night. May he give you no sleep